quick update. Working on the carburetor the last couple days, cleaning it and mounting it and trying to get the thing to run. Every time I put the carburetor on, put the gas to it, it was leaking. So played around with the float, raised it, lowered it quite a bit, and it still was leaking through the throat of the carburetor. It wasn't leaking out of the bowl, but so something's not quite happy in there. Went online, started doing some searching. Found a carburetor that was very similar. It's for this engine, but it wasn't quite the same. Little differences here and there. $15. So said doesn't hurt to try it out. The rebuild kit for it was going to be from Hong Kong. It would have taken weeks to get here, and that was $8. And I wasn't even sure if that was going to fix the problem or not, so I figured $15. Throw a new carburetor on there and see what happens. So the linkage is different. That's the only downfall. So I'm gonna see if I can change the linkage out. But that's where I am now. I do have spark, but it's very weak. So my next step is I'm gonna pull the flywheel off, check the points. They're probably a little dirty. Check the gap, whatnot. So that's my next job until new carburetor comes in. I get the flywheel off, and I believe I figured out a problem with a weak spark. Can anybody see what the problem might be? Oh, maybe it's all the grass clippings. Alright, I thought that was quite comical, so I'm going to clean that out and see what happens. So I've been fiddling with this on and off all day. Cleaned out the points, re-gapped them, put everything back together, and there was no change in in my spark. It was still very, very faint. So I thought maybe the coil was no good. So I took the coil off. I tried to figure out how to test it. Went online looking to see if I can get a new one. Come to find out they don't make them anymore. I believe that it's a three-pole armature, they call it. Not sure. And I got a part number for it out of one of the manuals I found online, and they are no longer available. So decided to take the Panzer motor I knew worked, so I pulled the coil off that and I put it on here. Now, I'm sure people online can tell you that you put a two-pole, or I believe that's what they call it, two-pole armature on a three-pole armature flywheel. Yeah, there was no spark at all, so I was kind of bummed out, but I knew this one here had a good coil because it was running. Probably about a year ago, but it was still running. So I didn't believe that the coil was no good, so I started looking into it. That's when I figured out that I had to change the flywheel. So I took the flywheel that was originally on my Panzer and I put it onto this motor, and my spark came back. Still very, very weak spark. So I decided to look into my points again and clean them up and gap them, check them all out again. The gap is fine, but I did clean them up really good this time, and I got spark, very healthy spark. So I figured it must have been my points all along. So I put the stock armature back on and flywheel, and I have spark now. I'm not sure if people will see this on the film, but let's see if I can get this. Try a different hand. There we go. Got a nice spark now. So waiting on the carburetor, and then we'll see how this turns out. So until next time.